Hey, Britt.
Hi,
Hey, Britt, how are you, first off?
I am great. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Hey, 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 hey. How did you find your voice? How did you, distinct your sound to make you as amazing as you are today?
Stop gassing me. Oh my gosh.
you know, I,
So I think it takes a lot for someone to like their voice. Like I tell my friends all the time, I'm like, hey, record yourself and then listen to it back. You're gonna hate it. Everyone hates their voice. But I have to credit Russ Parr. For a while, I was trying to be like people I look up to. I wanted to sound like Alfredas. I wanted to sound like Tamron Hall. I wanted to sound like Wendy Williams. But he was the one that told me it's always going to sound inauthentic as long as you're trying to alter your voice. So he's like, if you have a little bit of a Jersey accent, use your Jersey accent. He was like, if you're talking over your braces, embrace it and talk over your braces. I have braces when I work. So he really told me to just be yourself. So I don't think I have a radio voice. I just talk the way I would talk to my
one thing
friends.
about Britt Waters is she does not let you forget where she came from, where her stomping grounds were, and that was University of Maryland. So I want to talk about, how you got your career started at University of Maryland because you were, doing a lot of broadcasting with WMUC, where you broadcast a lot of Maryland events and stuff like that. So explain to us how your college career definitely helped you to where you are today.
My best friend had a sports talk show, and I credit it so much because I think we had like four listeners. It was like my parents, my roommate, my co-host Chris's parents, and some random probably. But it just made me comfortable in front of the microphone because I was doing it so regularly. That blossomed in me doing play-by-play for the men's and women's basketball teams, and some of the people that I did play-by-play calling on in college, I now host for on the Mystics. Shout out.
Yes, come on.
So, fun fact, I used to play by play call Tiana Hawkins games at the University of Maryland, and now I host for her.
Yes.
So, super great. I did PA announcing for the soccer team. It blossomed into me getting internships, and bam.
And that's one thing you definitely talked about is internships. And I think that's one thing looking back, you definitely took advantage of during your matriculation in college, which, we do have the class of 2020 who just graduated. So congratulations to them. So
Yeah.
you already see what Britt Waters was doing. She was already invested to her career, taking internships to help her to where she was today. But I want to actually talk about Britt Waters a little bit more in University of Maryland. If you didn't know, Britt Waters has a hidden talent, and Britt Waters was a part of the Maryland marching band. Let them know what you did, Britt. Let them know. Come on. Oh, you better go get it. Uh-oh.
That was
Oh.
not so shared. I am a proud member of the Mighty Sound of Maryland Marching Band. I played snare drum in the drum line. Fun fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a fun fact today about Britt Waters. Even though you see her on the mic, but Britt can
I'm
play
not
on
going.
their drums.
I've retired. I'm not picking up the six. I've traded those in for a microphone, and that's what we're doing.
From college to your main career, how long did it take for you to go ahead and switch over to that transition? Because you did switch over to which is amazing into radio on the Russ Parr Morning Show. So how long did it take for that transition to happen?
It was almost immediately, and that is such a blessing. But it goes to show you that Russ was willing to take a chance on me. He trusted me, and that I've thanked for my whole life. And it was a testament of the hard work that I put in college. I think there's a myth out there that you either work, you do your schoolwork, or you party. You can actually do all three.
Yeah.
So, wake up at like 4:30 in the morning. Um, Wake up all my roommates and get to the radio station early in the morning so I could intern and volunteer with Russ. And then I would keep being there, interning with the news director at the time, come back, go to class. After class, I would be working. I had a little desk job. And then I would go PA announce a soccer game. And then I would go party until like 2 a.m. on Route 1 in College Park. And then I would wake up again at 4:30 in the morning. Like, when you have energy like that, you can do it all. And I tell people that you should at least try to. But I think it was about a week after graduation that Russ called me and he was like, hello. I was like, I think it's Russ Parr, but why would
Not the voice, of course.
and he was like, I think like you've done a lot, not just in studio, but what you've done outside every day. I would do different projects with what we did on air. And he was like, I want to bring you on as a assistant producer. And I was like, whoo, child.
Like, assistant producer. If people don't know, that's a great job, by the way, graduating from college on a #1 morning show.
And it quickly blossomed into being on-air talent with them, entertainment reporting while Alfreda's was out. Like, it was amazing. I looked up and I had my own bit on the show. It was crazy. We were in all these markets. And I just think it was so amazing that that team who had been together for so long would just embrace me the way that they did. And I was the, you know, super green, brace face, new addition to the family, the little sis, and it was some of the best times of my life.
What do you think was the key factor you had to keep yourself this consistent and growing so rapidly?
Thank you. You are so kind. I think being true to myself, and I tell everyone, like, don't try to change who you are for, you know, what outlet you're supposed to be. Be who you are in that moment and own it, and it'll always be authentic. I mean, there's not a lot of people that have been on hip hop stations, who have been on hot AC stations, who have been on top 40 stations. So to say I've done all three in my 20s, to God be the glory, because that's, but that's who I am. You know?
Yes, clapping emojis for Britt for that one. No, for real, because we respect the hustle. Like, that is literally a dope experience. Recently, you are in New York as well. When you were able to do pop and also doing urban as well. So to be able to juggle those two, I think that honestly is a natural gift and a talent, because the music, the news is definitely different. You know, we're talking about different news, what's happening with more African-American entertainment, but then pop is more diverse. So how are you able to, you know, transition and be diverse with your, you know, articulation, words, how you pronounce things, different slang? Because what people don't understand is when you're in a more diverse crowd, you're not going to use the same type of articulation and slang like you'll do for like a, you know, 95.5, which you on, which is station that you're on right now, and a KYS, which, you know, is a company that I work for. So how are you able to, you know, transition that diversity?
It's all about doing your research, knowing your audience, and speaking your truth. Like, if you don't know something, don't pretend you know it.
Don't do it.
You know. And you know, it's also about being a part of behind the scenes as well. I think being a good on-air talent is having established good relationships. I've worked with some of the best PDs in the game, and they've taught me things that, you know, I really took to heart and would never forget.
A lot of people do wonder, how do you get involved into arena hosting? So let's hear your story.
I want to say it was networking, it was radio, it was this, but it was really just Google and God.
Come on, GG.
So I wanted to be involved with the Mystics, and I looked up hosting opportunities, Monumental Sports, and there you go. It was an application. It just happened the right timing. I feel like God just placed it on my heart.
So yes, I met Britt Waters. Her second year was my first year hosting for the Washington Mystics, and yes, we were a part of history for the Washington Mystics winning their first ever WNBA championship, which was amazing. So Britt, I want to ask you, you asked me last week, but you asked other questions. Now it's time for me to ask you, and of course the viewers who are watching now. Britt, how was it hosting that championship game? What was going through your head, especially when the clock went down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and next thing you know, the confetti, everything was happening, and you were in the arena with champions? How did that feel?
It's kind of a surreal moment. Like, I don't remember the exacts because I was just like part of excitement, but the feeling that I had when we won made everything so worth it. Because hosting with the team the year before, when me and Sandra hosted, we did make it to the finals for the first time in franchise history, but the vibes weren't right. We weren't playing true home court advantage. It was just so scattered. It was a lot going on. It was injuries. It was just so much. And as much as I loved that run and how we got to the finals, when it happened last season, I knew this is how it was supposed to happen. Everything was fine. For it to happen in our new arena with the founding fans, where we're supposed to be, with the right colors, with the right perfect WNBA assembled team, it just made me realize that, you know, timing is everything. And I was so excited.
That, again, was a WNBA moment I would never forget and witness in person. Also, to be able to host with you, like I said last week, was definitely an amazing experience as well. When I found out you became the host of the Washington Wizards, it was nothing but just joy. And I'm being so real. Like, I was so excited for you, because I know that was something like you want to keep going, and you've definitely, your matriculation in this whole communications industry was just like something amazing. And some people think, you know, some people get it easy or it's just handed to them. But seeing it behind the scenes and the work you put in and hearing your story, and now people hearing your story from a Maryland Turk, from all the stuff you did in school, from radio, producing behind the scenes, to now living in your moment. Because I would say it's your moment.
Thank you.
It's just beautiful to see. And also, how did it feel when you got that call and you found out you were the host for the Washington Wizards?
It was great. I think I cried. I cried a lot, but I was excited because, you know, growing up in South Jersey is amazing, but I feel like DC has seen me grow on the air. And to, like, you know, I didn't want to be a part of any other NBA team at that time except for the Wizards, and nothing to do with their record and nothing to do with the company. It was just like, I want to grow up in this city and I want this city to grow up with me, and I want to continue what I started here. So it was amazing. And I was so happy just to stay with the teams and to stay with the company. It's just amazing.
How were you able to balance the hosting skill? Because, you know, hosting television, hosting on radio, and then hosting in an arena is different types of hosting. So how were you able to perfect the craft of each type of way of hosting to make it sound authentic and fun and make it sound real? Because, you know, on radio, they don't see you. So it's a lot of emphasis. You're smiling and you're talking and you're so hyped. And you do the same with the Wizards and arena hosting, but it's like you don't want to be too loud. You don't want to be yelling too loud. The mic levels. And then on TV is how you articulate your words because they see you and it's all about your movement. So how were you able to, like, balance each of those crafts?
Yes, it's definitely a big difference. And shout out to 3 Point Productions. We just did like a roundtable with NBA hosts talking about this. But for me, radio is my core because I'm literally sitting in a room talking to myself on a microphone. TV, I'm talking to a camera and maybe like 5 producers. In arena hosting, you don't know how to do it till you've done it, to be honest. Yes. And DC has seen me grow up because I did PA announcing at Maryland, which is a task in itself too for the soccer team. But in arena hosting is another animal. You hear the boos just as loud as you hear the cheers. You can tell people to get up, but they might not believe you till you deliver it the right way. It's really an art of connecting with the fans, realizing what situation you're in, making those adjustments, and having a good time. And I think that helped me just being a fan of the game, being at so many games. I was like, oh, this is what I would want to see from a host. So let me be that host that I like.
How was it when you got that call, and how was your experience being an all-star host?
Whew. Whew. All-Star was so much that I have an entire vlog on it. So you can check on my TV and my YouTube if you want the whole scoop. But I definitely cried on that call because it was so unexpected. I think the whole team, you know, when you're on the phone and you get a call from your boss and your boss's boss and your boss's boss's boss, all at once, that's usually that you could be getting fired. A representative from the NBA was at some of our games and they handpicked you. They want you to come to All-Star, and I was shook. Getting there, it was the ultimate experience. I'm so thankful for it. I had people tweet me from Japan, like, wow. That was amazing. And it also taught me how to grow because everyone there was the best of the best. And I came back with a whole list of things I need to improve on.
Went to the All-Star around an amazing time. It was definitely a sad time, of course, of Kobe Bryant's death. And just being in the arena hosting and, you know, with all this craziness going on, even though it was a sad moment, it was, I think, a good moment for everybody to come together and to celebrate a historic, iconic basketball player, from performances by Jennifer Hudson, just how she shook the room, witnessing that nail-biting game, LeBron and just with everybody there. Like, how was it to be there in that moment for us who weren't there? Could you just give us just a brief summary of how it was to be there around that time?
It was great. It was like a huge therapy session and celebration of life for any NBA fan in the world. And it was the first time I actually took it in, because when I found out about Kobe's death, I was 15 minutes before I had to be on air in New York City. So I didn't cry. I didn't grieve. I couldn't believe it because I had to get ready to be on air. So I had never taken it seriously. So the moment at All-Star when they played a tribute to him and David Stern, and to see everybody in almost tears, but then everybody being happy that this is something that brings us together. It was therapeutic. Like, I loved it.